What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm your co-host Donovan Quick, and today I'm going to be going over some of the more surprising cuts from Tuesday and Monday. Cut down days going into the initial 53. Some of these guys I'm not too surprised about, but it may be surprising to most people. First and foremost, Robbie Chosen Anderson getting cut in favor of River Craycraft. That's going to surprise a lot of people. I know Jacob was absolutely shocked when he heard the news, and he heard it when he was at work, given I was at work as well when it happened. And it is, kind of surprising. But if you watched that last game and watched it pretty closely, which Jacob was at work, of course, during that last game, Robbie really didn't do too much, and he dropped some balls in the second game. He missed the first one with an injury. And I explained in my 53-man prediction video that Robbie, he's an outside guy who has a lot of speed that can blow past you. He's not really shifty. He's not going to break tackles. He has, his hands are not that good for a receiver. So having him over someone like River Craycraft, who can block really well in the run game, he can go in the dirt, he's a gritty player. To have that gritty player as your sixth guy, he's also a good special teamer as well. Robbie being on there, he's not that good at special teams, so having him on there, it's not that surprising to me, but it may be surprising the most. We all know that they love River Craycraft. He came up off the practice squad a few times last year in place of Eric Ezukama. So, yeah, there's that. Another surprising one, Malik Reed. So, this is more surprising in the facet of he didn't really play as well as we expected him to. He came in kind of late to camp as a veteran guy. We kind of expected him to be a good depth piece, and he just hasn't been impressing at all throughout training camp, or nothing, really. So yeah, he ends up getting cut. Not that surprising. There are two surprising moves that aren't cut candidates, but I'm going to go over that at the end of the video. The next one, Alama Ualave. With the trade of Dan Feeney, our backup center, I anticipated Alama Ualave, the only other center on our roster, to actually make the roster. Instead, the Dolphins opted to keep an extra guard or two. It looks like it's going to be between Lester Cotton and Liam Eichenberg to be the backup center if we need a backup center. So we have 0 natural centers on this team. We already know Connor Williams struggles to snap the ball. Who knows how Liam Eichenberg's going to do? Who knows how Lester Cotton's going to do? It's going to be a absolute shit show if it comes to that. Another one that's kind of surprising is Elijah Higgins, our 6th round pick. What's funny is that, if we had 3 tight ends that we were going to bring on roster, I anticipated him being one of them at the beginning of the offseason. Kind of not as surprising that he didn't make it anymore, but I do think that he ends up on the practice squad. But a 6th round pick being cut is not seen that much nowadays, and I am glad that they're not afraid to cut those guys and be like, hey, yeah, we may have reached on him, it is what it is, but we could still develop him on the practice squad if he ends up on our practice squad. Tight end Tanner Connor. So he missed most of camp with a knee injury, missed the first 2 preseason games with an injury, but his first practice back, he looked incredible in practice, caught some difficult balls, and he was able to make an impact in both the last week of training camp and in the last preseason game. So kind of surprising to see him go. The Dolphins had him on the roster last year. They really liked him. He's another wide receiver turned tight end, so he has good catching ability. He has good blocking ability. He's a really big guy. But it looks like they're going to probably, once they put some people on IR, it looks like he's maybe one of those people to come back on the active roster. So kind of surprising that he got cut, but he might end up being back on roster very soon. Another one, Trill Williams. So, of course, he's coming off his torn ACL. He was playing corner last year, mostly on the boundary. Now, this year, it was crowded over there. They moved him to safety. It's still kind of crowded over there, but there was less competition to be had over there. He had a battle with Rome McKinley, Deshaun Elliott, Brandon Jones, Justin Bethel, Elijah Campbell. And I thought with the Elijah Campbell injury that maybe he would make the roster, being that he's great at special teams and he has the natural ability to play both safety and corner. So that versatility could really come in handy. But it looks like the Dolphins opted with keeping Elijah Campbell on the roster, then going to put him on IR rather than releasing him with an injury settlement, then allowing him to be signed to their practice squad. It looks like they want him back on the active roster. They're just going to put him on IR once the season starts. So Trill Williams, definitely one of the guys to keep an eye on in case they want to bring him back to the active roster after some people are put on IR. It looked like Verone McKinley was going to be cut for a second and then brought back on the active roster, but they didn't want to risk him being claimed off of waivers. I don't think they're as concerned about that with Trill Williams. But yeah, that's who I got for my surprising cuts. The surprising moves, Dan Feeney being traded. He didn't have that good of a camp for us. He was going to be like our 5th or 6th guard. Being traded for a 6th-round pick, absolutely fleeced by Chris Greer. Really happy with that. It is a little bit of a surprising move, though. And then the other surprising move is Noah Igbenogany being traded to the Cowboys for Kelvin Joseph. I have a video out on that. I just released it probably 30 minutes ago, so go check that out as well. Other than that, that's all I got for y'all today. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you think deserved to be cut? Who is your surprising cut? And who did you want to make the roster that didn't? And what kind of free agents are you looking at? All right, catch you on the next one. Deuces.